and that the decisive factor is the way in which we evangelize. And this line of thought, consistently followed through, will lead us far astray. So put another way, results are not up to us. Our job is just to share faithfully. Results are so far beyond us. My job is to share the gospel. It's not to get results. The idea is that it's not my job to repackage the gospel, make it somehow more acceptable, more exciting, more exciting. Maybe take a few parts out and twist a few parts around and make people like it and persuade people. Tell it the right way. Do all the right things, say all the right things, act all the right way so that they will come to accept it. So I can persuade them by my power. I don't think that it's our job to produce results. Our job is just to be faithful. And again, as we talked about throughout this series, about sharing our faith, not as a duty, but as flowing out of us, I think that if we really can embrace this nugget of truth, that it takes a lot of pressure off of us. We just think about sharing our faith. It's not about saying all the right things in the right order and doing all the right things and having all the right passion and all these kind of things, but just to live the life of a follower of Jesus Christ, and when you have opportunities to share that, just share it or flow out of you. Share it or flow out of you. Say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this, Have those relationships and let those conversations come up, and it'll be very natural. It's not our job to say, but just our job to share and be faithful. The third thing is where I think the rubber hits the road. It's not our job to judge, but to be obedient. I think the minute that we begin to judge another person, I think that we overstep our bounds. We begin to do what only God should and can do. It's not our job to judge, but to be obedient, especially in terms of when we're thinking about sharing our faith. Think about it. Hope is never ours to take away from a person, because hope is always held out for that person. It's never our job, no matter how far gone a person seems, no matter what the person's history seems to be, with your personal relationship with them, if you shared the gospel with them a million times, or if you've never even talked to them about this faith, they just come out of jail, if they seem like they're doped up on drugs, if they seem like they are hardened to the gospel, it's not our job to take hope away from that person, because hope is always held out for that person. Remember the thing we just said before, our job is not results, but it's just to be a faithful witness. The responsibility is not ours to secure them. That's somehow beneath the surface. That's between God and that person. Mysteriously, it's not our job to do that. But our job is never to take away, our place is never to take away hope, because hope is always held out for that person. God is always holding out hope for that person. There's three people that in history I thought were very interesting as we close. Three people have been very much discounted, and they've shown that they've overcome those things. Alfred Lord Tennyson, who is the poet laureate of Great Britain and Ireland, his grandmother died when he was very young, and he wrote a poem. He wrote a eulogy for his grandmother. And after the funeral, it was read, and after the funeral, his grandfather gave him 10 shillings, and he said, "Son, this is the first money you will ever make writing poetry. And mark my words, it'll be your last." Well, that's obviously not true. His grandfather obviously wrote off somebody who had something much more in his future, right? From his perspective, man, he saw things one way, but little did he know that